So with the rollout of the new SGP32 specification, I think customer has to be aware that this is not just a new specification. When this specification is set up, it has taken in mind the challenges of IoT deployment, and therefore it is designed with simplicity, flexibility, and security in mind. And with all these approaches, that's the reason why it is also very flexible to cater for all the local, let's say, regulatory and compliances topics. And as such, this is something that they should take in mind, that when rolling out SGP32, that is already a great improvement as compared to other specifications in the past for remote SIM provisioning, catering for IoT segment. So I think with the deployment or the introduction of the SGP32 specification, this is actually a huge improvement over the M2M era specification. And with the introduction of SGP32, they tend to break it up and think of it in a more modular approach with different components serving different purposes. So this is where I think the wider, let's say, industry player has to rethink, because of the multiple player that gets involved, like the connectivity provider, the front-end provider that is giving you the GUI interface, as well as the various component supplier. So I think customer has to think about how all this player is going to participate and work together in this kind of ecosystem. And of course, with that, that means there's a lot of flexibility and modularity in that context. And for G&D, our Aeon 360 IoT is designed exactly with this kind of a modular approach, so that the customer, the player, can decide to what extent they want to scale and have all those components managed and deployed globally. From our side, we see it actually greatly as an opportunity. So IoT space actually is historically quite fragmented, with many players all introducing their tools or their software with different GUI. So with this single pane of glass, what it enables is that different players can come together. So for example, if you have multiple connectivity provider, they can all be hosted in one setting, so that as a user, you can do fleet management in a centralized place. And this is where I see that this is providing a great benefit in terms of simplicity, simplification for the end user. And that's where I think that that will be greatly beneficial for most of the customers who are planning, IoT deployment, especially if they are managing fleets of devices out in the market. So I think it's quite essential. I mean, as a basic start, in the last years, we have seen IoT devices being connected with a provisioned subscription right at the beginning. So I think that will be that is actually the very basic of connectivity access. But as the world grows more connected, we see that this is getting more essential to have a particular connectivity strategy. And given that connectivity is quite essential, every one of us go around with our devices. Of course, this is more in the consumer space, but in the IoT space, let's take, for example, automotive, where you can see how seamless and continuous connectivity is essential. So right at the factory, it could be that the car is only connected via private network to receive its initial software in order to make the car more functional. As it gets into a container, this is where it switch over to a public network, which is for tracking purposes, because you want to make sure that the valuable car is tracked at every step of its way to ensure that you detect any potential, let's say, issues with it, or just basically to know where the car is. And as it gets handed over to the user, of course, this is where the introduction of the user subscription is necessary. Even still within a public network setup, you need the flexibility for the car to be able to manage multiple cellular connectivity profile, or to be able to switch back and forth. And more importantly, in a global deployment scenario, especially in the context using car as an example, it could get into challenging and remote locations where neither private or public network is available. And this is where satellite plays a very essential role in providing the continuous connectivity experience. So that's the reason why I see that you need a particular plan and strategy in how to enable this seamless and continuous connectivity coverage for the IoT devices. And therefore, as a connectivity user and provider, this is something will be very interesting and important, essential to think about. So actually, G&D IoT Go control is going to provide that flexibility for you to look into provisioning the vehicles or the device with all this different type of connectivity, and also enabling you to control and manage what it can switch back and forth across.